Okay, we're on.
All right. You ready, Marty?
As y'all talking, you decide, please.
We'll now call the 2019 June 20th Board of Adjustments meeting to order. Call the roll.
Angie Barnes,
Present.
Valerie Hines,
Here.
Ralph
Here.
Oliver,
Here.
Chris Cooper,
Here.
Jimmy Rogers. Mr. Rogers is absent.
All right. Has everybody looked over the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Does anybody see anything that was not correct, out of order? All right. If not, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Got a motion?
I wasn't here, but I'll second. Can I do that? I wasn't here at the meeting.
Today. Neither one of you would have been here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna have to go around, I guess you could say.
I'll second.
Yeah.
Call the roll.
Chris Cooper,
Yes.
Ralph Oliver,
Yes.
Valerie Hines,
Yes.
Angie Barnes.
Yes.
I would like to welcome Ms. Barnes to the commission. This is her first meeting,
Yes.
and hope that you have an enjoyable time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to amend the agenda real quick so we can do some parliamentary procedural things, so we keep everything in order according to the Board of Adjustments. As everybody knows, that our chair has stepped down and we don't currently have a chair. So what we're going to do right now is take nominations for a chair and for a vice chair. So we'll start out, Marty, with nominations for chair.
I nominate Ralph Oliver.
Second.
Thank you. Okay. Valerie Hines,
Yes.
Chris Cooper,
Yes.
Angie Barnes,
Yes.
Ralph Oliver.
Yes.
I accept.
Accept.
Okay.
All right, next thing we'll do is we will appoint a vice chair.
Yes, sir.
I'll nominate Valerie Hines.
Second.
A second, a first and second. Angie Barnes,
Yes.
Ralph Oliver,
Yes.
Chris Cooper,
Yes.
Valerie Hines.
Yes, I'm stuck.
All right, so
So that's set for the year.
now we're set, so we can move on with business as usual. First item of business we got is a dimensional variance at 481 Elston Road. Let us get into that. And that is a Kenneth and Betty Brenniger.
Is that you all here?
All right, would y'all please come forward?
Both or one of you,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. And if you come up here to the podium, please. Okay. Gotta swear in a little bit.
Just give us your name, your address, where you live.
Kenneth Franklin Brenniger Sr., 481 Elliston Road,
Okay.
Richmond, Kentucky.
And everything you're gonna tell us you confirm to be true.
To the best of my knowledge.
Thank you, sir. All right, what are you here today for?
For a dimensional variance on a garage.
Okay,
If I could help, they have an existing garage up on the map there. I guess it's the one that's in front of the house, two cars beside it. Is that
That's correct.
Can you tell it on the map? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the, let me get the property lines up. This is an existing building, I guess, at the garage, or what it is? This one right here?
Yes, that's existing garage.
Okay, and they're wanting, I'm assuming, to add on to it.
That's
And
correct.
go towards the cars.
Uh-huh.
And the reason that they're here is because it is already, I guess, 18 inches, and with the overhang in the gutter, it's actually closer than that if it's not right on it, maybe, because it's the furthest projection is how we go with that. So, they're on the property line basically now.
Mhm.
And that's why we're here, because they wanna add on. It could stay that way because it was pre-existing non-conforming.
gotcha.
But now that they're gonna make it, wanting to make it larger, then that's why we're at this point.
So the current building exceeds the variance
Yes.
already,
Yes.
but they're not gonna go any closer to the property line.
Again, I mean, it's just right on it anyway.
They're basically just mirroring that garage parallel,
That's what they're asking to do.
extending onto it. That's what they're requesting, right?
Full disclosure, they've got 50-some acres.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
all this.
Gotcha.
So they're going east of that, out
Sorry.
there where those parking,
Sorry.
out there where those vehicles are parked
So-
at.
Yes.
On the north side.
So we're gonna go this way?
Yes.
Okay. And everything else is gonna mirror and stay the exact same with the current, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
But the fence line, you see the fence line there?
Yes.
That's the property line.
Mhm.
You can see it's right on.
Has anybody called and complained, Marty, or anything?
Yes.
Okay,
And we have, of course, the knowledge.
okay.
Is the layout of the garage such that you couldn't come down the driveway where that appears to be a black vehicle is parked?
That's correct, where the black looking vehicle is
Right,
parked in
she's
front
asking,
of the
can you
garage.
bring it this way
Why can't you
instead
bring
of
it
taking
that way instead of taking it sideways?
Well, we wouldn't be able to see out in front of the house.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you. Oh, okay, so the house is
House
facing.
Facing.
Right,
Okay.
face.
Okay, gotcha.
Is there some reason that you couldn't put it somewhere else on your property that wouldn't be on the property line?
No, sir, I don't wanna put it anywhere else.
Right.
You're basically wanting to extend the current garage you got.
That's correct.
So that current garage is a two-car garage?
That's correct.
Okay.
And you need it to be a 4-car.
And you need it for, is that where like sort of where those two cars are parked in that gravel?
Yeah, it wouldn't come that far.
It'd be
It'd
actually-
be between where the existing garage is and that first vehicle you can see.
Okay. All right. Double sized.
Can you tell us about, like, the building that's behind and what are some purposes for that building?
This building here,
Right,
Yes, sir.
That's a tool shed.
Okay.
okay.
It doesn't have anything to do with what we're asking.
Okay.
How long's the existing garage been there?
As far as I know, ever since the house has been.
Did you build it?
No, we bought it that way.
You bought it that way?
Mhm.
$3.99, right?
The
house, the
Yes,
three-
is bought in the eighties, late eighties.
Right, but we didn't have land use rates.
Gotcha, gotcha. Is there any issues right now with the current garage on that property line? Like, is the fence is in good shape? Is there anything falling off the garage, deteriorating the fence? I mean, is everything normal all the way down through there?
They had a brand new fence put up some time ago. It's probably been 8 years ago, 10 years ago.
Okay.
This
It's-
map has some, it's a couple of years old, and if you'll notice, towards the road,
Mhm.
follow his driveway up towards the road,
Mhm.
not all the way the road, there is a new structure that's in that in that corner right there.
Where that shade is of the tree, Marty? Right about here?
No.
No.
Up here.
Oh, up there.
Up there, yeah.
Okay, the new structure.
And, and it backs up to this property. That building belongs to the property on the other side of the fence.
Gotcha.
So anyway,
Okay.
I think he's here to talk.
All right.
What do you use the garage for now?
For storage for cars and we've got a gator and just tools and air compressor and so on and so forth.
Is that gonna change if you,
No,
Get
no,
the
it'll
variance.
stay just the same. We would have cars parked in there.
Is there any kind of a residence or anything in it?
No,
And the reason you're wanting to put it up against that one was because you've already got one wall there, so you're not having to build 4 walls for a garage, you're just having to build 3 walls.
right, and I need the extra room
Gotcha.
for the vehicles and
I
stuff.
got you, got you. All righty, all right. Will, if you'll have a seat, we'll take, something from other members of the audience, and we'll have you come back up, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else here?
Yes.
Yes, that'd like to speak. Please, state your name and your residence, please.
I'm James Harden.
Yes, sir.
I live at 101 Countryside Drive.
101
which is or 101 Horseshoe Bend, pardon me, which is the adjoining property. And I do have some photos here for you.
Okay, everything you're
And-
gonna tell us, please be the truth.
Yes.
Confirm. Okay, thank you.
First of all, Mr. and Mrs. Brenner are good neighbors.
Mhm.
And we've had a very short run. We've only been out there owners of the property 4 years.
You're,
Um,
sorry, you're Harry James, is that right?
No. That's Harry
Harry
James
Harden.
Martin.
You're
He was
Harry
the
Harden.
original-
You're-
I'm James Harden.
Okay, it's a typo. James H. Harden, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
And so, I guess my concern is over the past 4 years that I've been on the property, I've only had 3 communications with the Brenners. in all three situations, it was their concerns. First concern was, when I first come out there on the property, I sprayed the fence row to clear it out because it was a major overbrush on my side, as well as poison ivy, poison oak. My wife is highly allergic to that. And so I sprayed the fence row, trying to keep it on my side best I can. I can't control wind. I got a note on the fence. I didn't even get a face-to-face conversation. It was a note on the fence saying, please don't spray the property, you're killing my flowers, basically to that degree. And I do not want to kill anybody's flowers. I want to be a good neighbor. And so I quit spraying and went to manually trimming out and weed eating and that type of thing. Second communication, I went to the Brenniger's home and went to their home, visited with them, and informed them that I was getting ready to build and what I was building and the stages and so forth, because I want them to know what's going on. I also informed them at that time that they're the last people on the Kentucky Utilities line. And my property is the last property that can be on the Kentucky Utilities line. They have a electric pole that's about 60 feet off of the property line. I informed them that, that I was looking to try to get connection to that pole to come over to my property, and then our building subdivision guidelines require that we bury our line. We can't have it up above. And so I asked them about that in their home, and they indicated that day that it wouldn't be a problem. They didn't say that there would be any type of concern or anything of that nature. And so I also said that day that I was so sorry that if I killed any plants, it was not my intention, and apologize for that, because I didn't think I killed anything, but I didn't know. We left the home. The next day, KU goes out. KU calls me, and they're tore all to pieces because they said that the Brennigers had contacted them and told them that there would not be any line coming off of their pole coming across their property onto my property. As a result, I told KU, just drop it, don't worry about it, I'll go a different route. The only other choice I had was to come off the main pole at the front of the road up at Elliston Road, which required me to bury 300 plus feet of line, 7 feet deep, in a section of it to go underneath a gas main transmission line. So I realized at that point, okay, they didn't want that, and I can respect that, but it cost me $5 grand for their decision. And so we went on, we started building, and then I get a call from Marty Sizemore's office when we started doing the construction, and I was at work in Lexington. My wife and I both worked up there, and he informed me that Mr. and Mrs. Brenniger had been in that morning, and that they were complaining about silt from my property coming across their driveway, according to Mr. Sizemore. And so I sent one of my neighbors out there to immediately take pictures and look at it, because if I've got silt growing across their driveway, I want to get that corrected. The pictures and everything that they took did not show any of the silt coming across their driveway. Plus, they have about a foot ditch area right there. But nonetheless, they were complaining about it. And so what I did was I came back home at the end of the workday, purchased some hay to put along the fence to create a silt line if we needed to. But again, we're 50 feet build site away from their line. That's the 3 communications I've had out of them, nothing else. I wasn't even contacted about this. I learned about this through planning and zoning letter to my home. Again, they're good neighbors, but it's really clear that they have been very protective of their side of the fence. And now it's an encroachment upon the borderline side. And I don't want us to have any problems, none whatsoever. And I know planning and zoning has these guidelines into place that we say stay 10 feet away from property line. And I've come today to ask you guys to seriously consider maintaining that 10-foot setback, because I just know that if there were something that was going the opposite direction, I would be catching probably some flack right now. And I respect them, I respect their property, but I think it's a two-way street when we're looking at setbacks and protecting our property lines, and not even protecting the line, just making sure we don't cross over to each other. I don't want to do anything that would hinder them. I currently, I can show you photographs. This is all photographs you can kind of see, and you will see where their garage currently is, literally the gutter is hanging over top of the fence currently. Their downspout, which I've never said anything about, it's water, I could care less, but their downspout is right onto my property. It's pushing water my direction. I don't care about that, it's water, no big deal. But I don't want to complicate the problem any further with adding additional roof, pushing more water that way. You can look at the property and tell that I keep the fence rows and everything pretty immaculate. And I do that, I'm constantly mowing. When I mow currently, I make sure that my first 2 cuts when I mow are blowing into my property line, because I do not want to do anything that would blow into their property line. And so I try to protect that as much as I can, out of respect for my neighbors. And so I just would ask today that you all would consider that, and just consider that we show that respect both directions. Because I can tell you that if they build where they currently are, they would have to come onto my property to build, if they build on that line. There's no way that they could lay up block and put up that block that close to the fence without coming in and encroaching in on that property line. And I just don't want to do anything that's going to cause them any trouble. And, you know, they've been clear for the 4 years that we've been out there, you know, that they want to make sure that we don't ever get on to them. And so I just want to show the same respect.
Thank you.
Any questions for me?
Is the fence property of both?
It's adjoining fence, so I guess we both would own that fence 50-50.
According to law, that, and you're sitting on your property, when you're facing it, Chris, if I'm wrong, correct me,
Well,
everything to the right is what you're responsible for, okay? So when they're sitting on their property, everything to their right is what they're responsible for, correct?
That's what that's,
Okay.
I don't know if that's.
So it's a mutual thing. That
Right.
fence line is a mutual property binding thing, but according to the law is, when you're sitting in the middle of your property, you look to the right, that's what you're responsible for, and that's what they're supposed to be. So you split that 50-50.
And so that would be my fence in that situation, in that scenario, is I'm looking at the
It'd be your
fence.
responsibility.
It'd be your
That
responsibility.
would be my responsibility. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
And so,
So you put a plank board fence in.
and I think Mr. Brenniger or whoever, Mr. Brenniger may have installed that fence.
I tip the fence
Mr.
to the
Martin.
property line, if it's not the
Yeah,
property
Yeah.
line,
I'd say
as
it's
long
on
as
the
it's
property.
under the property is.
Yeah.
As far as the maintenance.
But that's not why we're here.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. So this is, Marty, this is the current property layout. That one right there, in between the fence and the
The
garage.
building, there's gonna be damage to the fence.
Excuse me?
When they start to build, if there is a movement forward on the building, there's gonna be damage to the fence.
Be a possibility.
Thank you. We'll let you sit down and we'll.
Thank you.
Mr. Brenner, would y'all like to come back up? We'll give you a chance to rebuttal anything.
We would like to see the picture.
Yes, sir.
I've got a question, I guess. Your address is 101 Horseshoe. Do you start at Elliston Road and come down
Yes.
past that? So do you own 265 as well, or where does that stop?
It stops before, right there, by
Right-
that building,
right
I
middle of
guess.
that lake?
I've got a plat right here for you, if you'd like to see it.
No, I think we've got one.
I think we got it.
We've got one, I think.
Is this your place?
It's kinda-
This is the plat for the entire subdivision.
See, it looks like your property line stops way down here.
So my property is right here. I go all the way down to just short of the big pond.
We bought two.
Oh, and you go back around the
You
pond.
go back
Okay,
around the
okay,
pond.
I see.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, you come up and then straight off.
Cause see, it looked like that garage was touching the Martins instead of actually
Yeah.
up here, but it's up here, right?
It's right over
Okay.
Okay.
It's right over here. You can kind of see the mold area from, I guess
Yeah,
that
I
photograph
see.
there was when.
Well, see, this map
when I
shows
first bought
something
the property.
different, so that's why. See, it don't show that crook.
It shows it
going
square,
down. It
yeah.
shows it squared off
Right.
way up here, so.
Right, when we first bought the property, this is what we bought, and then last year we purchased all the way down through here.
Oh, okay, so see, our
So this
plat
is
just shows
the-
this, it don't show that part.
I see.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, that's clarification on that, thank you.
It's a big difference.
It is.
Yeah, going from here to there, I didn't know that.
Well, it looks like it might have even been up here, see, here's the old line.
Yeah, the old line.
And they've merged those two.
Yep.
See, there's two.
So that- No, it stops at like right there and goes straight on that one.
Yeah, on this one.
But is this like the fence line?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
this
the
is,
fence
yeah,
line.
that's
That's
the
the
fence line current.
And that garage is probably sitting,
How did you know that is?
that garage is sitting
Well,
about right there.
The
That's
plat,
property
the
line.
plat's got the property line, so there'll be a pin here, here, all these little places, there'll be pins where they had that surveyed off.
But who's to say the fencing over here?
Is the pins on the fence line?
Yes. Actually, the back corner pin closest down to the pond, it's actually set just a little bit back over onto Mr. Brenner's side.
So it's
The
on-
fence is actually more over here
On
on
your
the
s-
side.
on your side.
But I could care less about
Gotcha,
that part.
gotcha, okay.
I guess what we're trying to determine is the fence on the property line.
The fence is on the property.
Is that-
Far as I know.
Best part of it.
Okay.
There's one
So-
pin in my mind.
Hold on just a sec, sir. You'll have to come restate your name.
Okay.
Yes, sir, and your address,
Okay.
and we'll get you confirmed, tell the truth.
Kenneth Franklin Brenniger Senior, 481 Elliston Road, Richmond.
Thank you, sir. You got a question,
No, I just.
Brandon? Okay, sir, go ahead.
Talking about the pins,
Yes, sir.
I believe if Mr. Harden would look there by the gate, that he would see that there's some pins that's over on his side of the fence, probably about 3 feet. But I've never said anything about it. We've had it surveyed. I don't want on somebody else's property. I wouldn't have a thing that belonged to somebody else. No way. But when you come home and you have to wait about 6 or 8 inches of water and it's standing mud, and I've got pictures, not, they're on my camera.
Gotcha.
And, I mean, these things happen. But, being a good neighbor, I think that you need to walk over and say, hey, I know I've dug up a lot of dirt here and everything, and it's some of this water and dirt's got over on you, and
Understand.
I apologize or whatever.
But that has nothing to do with the variance today, correct?
Well, I mean, he
I
was
understand.
talking back.
I understand. That's the reason we gotta get back on point. We could bring things back and forth all night, you know what I'm saying?
That's okay.
Okay, so did you get a chance to look at the pictures
Yes,
and
they're
that-
accurate.
They're accurate?
Best I can tell.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I do have a question. The gutters that come off the garage to the downspout, does it come back towards your property or does it?
It
Runoff
goes
towards-
out toward his. That's the way it was when we purchased the property. It's never been changed. We've never been requested to change it.
Okay, anybody else have any questions from the board? Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right. If I don't have any other discussion,
Do you have anything else to say?
does anybody else have anything? You good? All right. We'll ask for a motion if somebody wants to make a motion. No motion? You mentioned variance denied.
You're asking, y'all not
There's no
pondered
motion.
it enough yet?
Yeah, let's
Yeah, let's
Let's
give us a second
Yeah.
just to look through.
deliberate
Yeah.
this a little
Yeah.
bit here.
It's 10 foot. Is that what it is, 10 foot? You said it's 10 foot, right? So if he come off the fence 10 foot, he'd be right in about the center of the garage. Is that right, Marty?
Probably, yeah, you know, like the garage.
The garage is, in the recommendation, it's gonna be 24 by 28, so 12 foot.
That's what we're, almost half.
Almost half of it. That's a tough one, boys. And girl, ladies and gentlemen. I understand both concerns, I do. I'll be willing to compromise
Yeah.
if we could move the dimensions. I'd be willing to compromise if we could go from 18 inches to at least come off that fence some. Because what I don't want to happen is, and Ms. Barnes was talking about it, when the concrete truck comes in there to pour that footer, hit those posts and knock those posts off. And it cause reconstruction for somebody.
That would be up to the applicant to amend his application,
Cause right now it states he wants to build it right there.
right there where it's at.
Right there where it's at.
Yeah.
And what's that process involved?
He can,
in?
say it.
Okay. I was thinking the same thing. I was sitting here, is there something that you both could live with that, or not live with? I don't know. I mean, could y'all work something out?
We'll get from the-
Yes, sir, come
I
on.
mean,
Just
that's-
we'll do the
I'm
same
just
thing.
asking.
Yeah, just state your name and address.
James Harden, 101 Horseshoe Bend Road.
Yes, sir. Everything you give is confirmed to be
Everything I'll
true.
say is truthful.
Thank you, sir.
I will say that I'm not opposed to them building at
No.
all. It's fine, they can build. I've seen enough already that I don't want to do anything that would cause them any form of hardship. And they, like I said, I haven't had much communication. I can say that our communication is never face to face. I have made contact with them, but they have not come over, even to the fence, to make contact with me. And that's okay, that's fine. My objective is to be a good neighbor. And that's all I want. And so if you all say, well, if he can move it back so many feet, that's fine. Let's do that. I do have a concern, as you can see from the photographs. It's right over top of the fence. I'm responsible for that side of the fence, technically. If I go in and have to reset posts because posts rot off, because that area does stay soggy on that side of the fence, because we've had a lot of rain. I mean, when you had 72 inches of rain in a year, that area out there is going to be soggy, especially if you're dumping more water there. And so I'm fine with all that.
Okay.
I just do not want to have a situation to where I'm a hindrance to them. And I feel like over the past 4 years, that's what I have been to them indirectly, just because of the limited communications we've had. So you all do whatever you want to do. You're the one that has the power to do this. I just want to address my concerns and stand before them and say, I'm not intentionally trying to be a bad neighbor anywhere. Do what you want to do, build what you want to build. I'm set to a stricter guideline because of the property that I'm on and the subdivision I'm in. But what they will do is going to impact my side. It will, inadvertently. And so I just don't want to turn around and then all of a sudden they're going, oh, well, here's another problem. And I don't want to do that. I want to be a good neighbor with them. And so you all do what you want to do. It's perfectly fine. I'm okay. I just want to make sure that we all are on the same page. Thank you.
I think where Mr. Brenniger had the garage prior to, it kind of creates a special circumstance wanting to add on to the garage
That's why we're here.
that's already existing.
Right, that's why, because it's pre-existing, non-conforming, and if you can stay that way forever until it goes down. If it ever burns down or goes to ground and stays gone a year, it loses that. Now, it also states in the reg that you cannot enlarge that building. Now, the purpose of that reg is to eliminate these things over hundreds of years, I guess. It's not to make it simple to do. So that's why they're there.
And at the same time, you don't wanna create a hardship for either
That's true.
side.
That's another
Well, and my concern is if I were to do it, if it were me here today, I know that that would be a definite no on their part. They wouldn't want me to do that, by any means.
Well,
If the
okay,
food-
but they didn't create this problem.
I know they didn't create
Okay.
it, Marty, but what I'm saying is we're adding to it.
Right, I
If
know
we
that.
continue on, we add to it.
But you would be building something new, which is not the same circumstance.
Marty, in the past, have we added conditions to variances, or do we have the authority to do that? To put some specifications on it, or are we?
Not in the past, not in my history of it, we just either granted the variance or did not, or denied the variance, or they come up with a compromise. You know, he can build it 10 foot off and don't ask us, don't have to be here. He can build it, if he builds it 5 feet off, he has to be here, so, but he needs to, in my opinion, make a decision, is he down to determine with 18, wherever it's at today, or is he willing to compromise?
Mr. Brenner, please come up.
If you're all feel reaching.
And Ms. Brenner, sorry. Again, for the record, please, your name and address.
Kenneth Franklin Brinegar Senior, 481 Elliston Road, Richmond, Kentucky.
Confirm that you'll tell us the truth, please, sir.
I will.
Thank you, sir. Is there any compromise on this from 18 inches, sir, that you'd be willing?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. You may proceed. All right.
So we,
All right, any more discussion, board members? I need a motion. There's no
I'll
motion.
make a motion that we deny the dimensional variance request for Kenneth and Betty Brinegar.
A second.
We have a motion, so call the roll?
Chris Cooper,
yes,
Ralph Oliver,
Yes.
Andy Barnes,
Yes.
Valerie Hyde.
Yes.
All right.
Motion's been denied.
Motion's been denied.
What that means is, he built it there, move out a little bit, to a different spot.
Probably will be good.
There'll be a problem with that, there'll be.
No, not where we requested it.
Oh, okay, well, that's fine, yeah, I can see it, yeah.
But we thank you
I'm
for
not
your
telling you
time.
you can't build your building,
Huh?
I'm not telling you you can't build your
Well, I
building.
know that.
Okay,
I know that.
okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Members of the board, I'm going to withdraw from consideration and voting on the next item of business because I do have a direct or indirect financial interest in the outcome. At this time, Mr. Chair.
At this time, Ms. Hines will be the chair of this forum. Give me a second here, and I'll try to find it around here.
oh, okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, sir.
I'm not gonna say you going to give me testimony.
Thank you.
This property is located at 1974 Red House Road. I've got it on the map here. Mr. Oliver here to represent himself. He's wanting to erect a detached structure, barn, pole barn, and he needs a variance of 45 feet to be 85 feet away from Red House Road, because Red House Road is a state highway, and the requirement is 125 feet of setback. He's wanting to be 85 feet instead of 125 feet. So that's a picture of the house. What now? Okay.
That's 40 feet, isn't it, Marty?
Is it 40? Whatever it's on there.
But 125 is the requirement, right?
Yeah.
And then 85.
So he's asking for a 40-foot variance, is that right?
This says
It
45.
says 45, so you need a,
80.
you need an
Okay.
80-foot instead of 85?
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So this is the property. I guess we're at, right here?
No, I'll come up.
All right, well, whenever you give your thing there.
You come forward, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Oliver. you please state your name and address?
Yes, ma'am. Ralph Oliver III, 1974 Red House Road.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I do, ma'am. The property we have there, we have the house and farm there. That's our house with our garage right there that you see. Where that little number is, it says 1974, we wanted to put the barn there, but there is 2 gas lines that run across through there from Tennessee Pipeline and Kinder Morgan, and there's a 75-foot easement on both sides of those, Marty.
Yeah.
So what we had to do is we had to come in between the other side of the house over on this
Here,
side.
this side?
Yep, right there. There's an old tree there, and we had to come off that. I wanted to come off 125 foot, so I called Bert and said, hey, where's it at? Well, as soon as I get to the 125, Chris, I start going over that hill right there. And if you went out there, you can see where that tree was at, and it's sort of dead, and it's got 2 branches.
Yeah.
That's the 125. So if I started there, I'd be over the hill. So what I did was I went from the center of the road and I went to 85, and I put a piece of rhubarb there. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but that'd be the beginning of it, of the pole barn. It'll be a 30 by 60 pole barn. It will match the colors of the house. My house is green and has a brown roof, and it'll be exactly matching it.
You're saying right here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's on the left side of the house.
Yeah, right there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ralph, is your house the 125 setback?
It's,
I mean,
it's,
give us
it's,
a
it's,
distance.
it's way farther back than
Okay,
125,
okay,
yes.
I was
Yeah.
just curious because I just trying to.
Picture, yeah.
relation, yeah.
If you see that tree in the shadow, if I can, I'll come up and show you.
We'll show you where 125 feet is. If I can get this thing out.
There's a tree right there. So there's a tree
No,
right
I
there.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. What about like visibility from in and out of your driveway where the end of the barn's gonna be, you still have plenty?
That's
of-
okay.
Yeah, far
Should
enough to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there won't be any inch, like you'll be coming into my driveway and actually, through my front yard, my farm goes around through here, and this is my house. So I have an entry gate here, and I have an entry gate here, and I also have, this is my brother's farm. See this tree right here?
Mhm.
Here's where it is. That looks far away. That's my front yard. Here's the tree.
Okay,
So see where he's at? That tree is,
in front of it.
the front of it is right at 125 feet. This is my brother's in-laws here. I've got a gate in there also, so I have an entryway there. So I have one here, around the house, around the farm, and to here. So that will be my, there'll be no windows, no visibles, no doors. I'm gonna run everything parallel, Chris, so it'll sort of look like the house. The roof will run like that, and that way I'll have one door on this side, then the garage door, then I'll have a little door on this side. And the reason for that is my farm goes all the way around the Jacksons, and that's where my barn is, on the Jackson side. If Marty will slide that up just a little bit. Oh, okay, yeah. You can go down under the tree.
Go this way.
I'm gonna show you the barn. Yeah, go down.
Damn, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. All right, so that's my pond. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. All right, see that big barn?
In the back.
Not the back one, that one right there. That's my barn, okay? So that's the only barn I currently have on the farm. And what I do, Chris, is on the other side of that barn, I got about 20 acres. So I rotate them back and forth. And that's the one they use on this side, that side. And I don't have one on this side of the farm. So what I'm trying to do is get where I can have one on both sides for the cattle in the wintertime with calving. You know how much problem we had this winter with them.
I was gonna try to show you the property across the street. Any house up and down Red House Road, it's got age to it, it's probably closer than 125 feet to the road. I don't see Red House Road ever being widened in my lifetime. I can't imagine, I don't know why they would. Don't have any knowledge of anything gonna happen for it. That's what that setback is for.
That 2005, what everybody is, 2000 something looks closer to.
My
Yeah, I was
neighbor,
gonna work across the street from it, and see
yeah,
what that was.
well, my neighbor's here. The one, 1971, he's here today. He's the one that's right across from me.
So if you go farther back, is that where the gas line is?
On this side, no. No, on this side is the hill. It just drops off. It goes like this into a,
Yeah,
it's,
it's 80
it goes-
feet, so.
yeah.
So it's about the same distance.
That's his
That's
house.
what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The newer houses will be back, but the any chance it's warranted.
Do we have
And
any
you're doing it
calls?
because of
No
the,
calls.
No calls.
and you're doing it because of the lay of the land.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
you
sir.
don't have to.
Yeah, and I can't put anything over on that other hillside because of those gas line and those easements.
Any more questions for Ralph? Do we have anybody else here that would like to speak? Would you like to speak, sir?
I'm across the street from it, and I have no objections.
Come
Well, can you come up to the microphone, please? Will you state your name and address for us?
What is my address? Okay. Well, I never call them, I don't know my own phone number either, I never call them myself.
I understand.
My name is Clifford D. Arms. I live on Red House Road, 1971.
Okay, and do you swear to tell the truth?
Well, absolutely.
Okay. Now, what were you trying to say, sir?
What was I trying to say?
Thank you.
Oh, I have no objections
Okay.
whatsoever. I own the property straight across the street from his house.
Okay, well, we appreciate you coming. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Now, I have a question.
Okay.
Can I leave?
Yes, sir, you're free to go.
My granddaughter's having a birthday.
Okay, well, that's important.
I gotta go home and shower. I was working on my lawn.
See,
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Very much.
Anybody else have any other questions? If not, do we have a motion?
I move that the 80-foot, I guess 45-foot variance, right?
so you're asking for a 45, well, that's what, you're asking for what the application says.
Yeah.
Except it's not 85, it's 80 foot.
Okay, I
Right.
move that the application be granted the variance as written.
Anybody have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All right. Chris Cooper,
Yes.
Angie Barnes,
Yes.
Valerie Hine.
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Oliver, you have your variance.
Thanks, sir.
Mr. Chair, would you like to rejoin us?
So we can adjourn. And we will work on the process of getting your certificate and have you, we have to get us a certificate that's drawn up, used to be by the county attorney, I don't know who now. But, and then we call you to come and get it, you take it over here to the courthouse, to the deed vault room, record it, bring it back to us.
Okay.
Make a copy of it. and-
Okay.
But that might take some time, but we know you got it, so.
Is there any more new business?
Well, I guess we want to recognize our chair is back in charge, right?
Correct.
Okay.
No new business.
No new business. All right, I move to adjourn.
I
Second.
All right. Angie Barnes.
Yes.
Valerie Hine.
Yes.
Ralph Oliver.
Yes.
Chris Cooper.
Yes.
Right. We can turn this radio off. We don't have to- we just go-
You know, I think that was.
Yeah.
If you just be willing to compromise somewhere, you know, take a